Good evening and welcome to the Planning Commission meeting of December 15th. And roll call, please.
Okay. Chair Johnson,
Here.
Vice Chair Chase.
Here.
Commissioner Biasotti.
Here.
Commissioner Kayal.
Present.
Commissioner Mishra. Commissioner Peterson.
Here.
Commissioner Samud. Thank you.
Right. And if our senior planner, Michael Smith, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Before we get started, I wanted a couple of things. Some reminders to the audience. The staff reports are on the back table. In the back of the room, and home viewers can also see the reports on the website at sanbruno.ca.gov. And all Planning Commission meetings are recorded and replayed on Thursday at 2 p.m. And I ask that you please silence your telephones, and if you're going to take any calls, to please do it outside the chamber. And that you please address all questions to the Commission. Thank you. All right. Before we go on to the first item of business, I just want to make a note that item number 5, conduct of business, we're going to be moving that to item number 7 under discussion. You can please note that as commissioners and the audience as well. All right. So the first item, approval of the minutes of November the 3rd.
Through the chair,
Commissioner Peterson,
I move the minutes be approved. Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. And communications.
There are no additional communications this evening. Thank you.
Okay. The next item, public comment, are for items that are not on the agenda. So if anyone from the audience that would like to speak for an item that is not on the agenda, please at this time step to the podium, state your name, and also your street address, or actually just your street.
All right. Hi, my name is Margarita Seifertis. I'm an artist who was commissioned to do the Centennial mural, a mosaic mural for a new Caltrain station. The mural was completed by me 8 months ago. It's still in my studio stored. I have been said by art committee that that the Caltrain, for whatever reason, did not sign off the agreement in between City of San Bruno and Caltrain, or San Mateo Transit Agency, San Mateo Transit agency. Thank you. In order to install the mural, because the property belongs to the Caltrain or the transportation agency. I'm here just to address that, to document it, and start the process of actually clearing it up and installing. I thought to address it to City Council and start the process of installing somehow, or agreeing, or sign the agreement and make steps towards the completion of work.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have suggestions, if you would like me to present possible options, what's the next step possibly could be, or because I do have ideas, but I would like to work with the city and would like to complete.
Well, thank you for voicing your concerns, and I am going to direct this to our planning director to see how this, if this is part of a planning commission. I know that the art commission oftentimes is part of the city council, and therefore I'm going to open it to you, Mr. Wolverton.
Chair Johnson, on this matter of the murals and the installation of the murals, I know that the City Council is aware of this circumstance, and I know that there's a desire, a strong desire, to see the murals installed. It's a matter really of the city being able to work with the transit agency to work out some issues that are still unresolved from that project so that the murals can be placed. So I really appreciate the fact that the artist came tonight, and I'll talk to our city manager about this and mention that the artist was here this evening and see if there can't be a communication through the city manager's office back to the artist regarding the status of installation.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
If I may ask one question, what kind of measure, because if you think about what the installation could possibly, how it could interfere in between agencies as a city of San Bruno and a transportation agency, there is no constructive danger or damage possibly could be done. If any, it will be straightening the walls by mosaic mural, because it's layer of cement, additional layer of cement, basically, and glass. I can't. I know it's possible to be have obstacles, but I just wondering what is it that it prevents of simple signing an agreement of 35 pages. It's not such a big agreement, and proceed. Do you have any ideas?
I can provide some comment on that. I know that our city manager's office and city attorney's office are trying to work this matter out, and there is a matter of the ongoing maintenance of the murals, et cetera, that needs to be addressed and ensured. So again, I think this is a matter that is really before the city manager's office and the city attorney's office, and I'll be happy to speak with them about it and perhaps arrange a meeting with the artist so that maybe at that level there can be a more detailed explanation from the city manager's office and the city attorney's office.
Excellent. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you can just remain on there, I'm going to open it to the planning commissioners to see if they have any questions. Are there any
Through the
questions?
chair.
Commissioner Peterson.
I have one brief question. Were you paid?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Although the city remained the additional $5,000 out of the budget to keep it until installation will be needed. I mean, until they will be ready to install the mural.
Thank you very much.
That's the budget for installation.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we're going on to public hearing. And the first item is 151 Portola Way. It's a request for a use permit to allow the construction of a one-story...
Through the chair.
Yes.
Point of order. Have you covered item 4, announcement of conflict of
Oh,
interest?
thank you for bringing that to my attention. I have not. The next item, number 4, is do any of the commissioners have any conflict of interest? I know that Commissioner Peterson had brought to my attention that on the first item he does. However, and he will recuse himself. Is that still the case? Okay. Anyone else? Any conflict? No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. So item number 6, it's under public hearings, and that is item 6A, 151 Portola Way. It's a request for a use permit to allow the construction of a one-story vertical addition and a one-story rear horizontal addition that would, in total, add 997 square feet of floor area to the existing dwelling, thereby increasing its floor area by more than 50%. Per sections 12.200.030B1 of the San Bruno Municipal Code. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. Michael Smith, Planning Department staff. The subject property is located on Portola Way at DeSoto Way in the El Cristal subdivision. The subject lot measures 5,074 square feet with a slope of less than 10%. The property is currently developed with a one-story single-family dwelling that was constructed in 1943 and has 3 bedrooms and 1 full bathroom within 971 square feet of gross floor area with a 468 square foot detached 2-car garage. Immediately adjacent to the property are single-family dwellings. The applicant is proposing to construct a one-story vertical addition and a one-story rear addition. The horizontal addition would extend the depth of the building by approximately 12 feet and measure 23 feet in width and add 276 square feet to the ground floor and house a new kitchen for the property. The vertical addition would increase the height of the building by approximately 7 feet and add 721 square feet to the building and add 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms to the dwelling unit. In total, the project would add 997 square feet of floor area to the building, thereby increasing its floor area by more than 50%, specifically 59%, which requires a use permit. The proposed roofing would be asphalt composition shingles that match the existing roofing materials. The addition itself would be clad in wood siding that matches the existing exterior finishes. All windows would be replaced with vinyl windows and have wood trim. If approved and constructed, the proposed building would have 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms within 1,968 square feet of floor area. No change is proposed for the 468 square foot detached garage on the property. The Architectural Review Committee reviewed this at their November 12th meeting. The project was forwarded to the Planning Commission with a recommendation to add an architectural feature to the sides of the building to break up the 2-story facades. This recommendation has been incorporated into the plans before you. The department mailed hearing notices to neighbors within 300 feet of the subject property, and no additional comments were received. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve use permit requests based on findings of fact 1 through 6 and the subject conditions of approval 1 through 26. Staff finds that the design of the addition complies with the residential design guidelines. The proposed addition would be well integrated with the existing single-family dwelling and would be compatible with the immediate neighborhood, which is characterized by 1- and 2-story buildings. Furthermore, the addition would be finished in materials that match the existing finishes to provide visual unity in the overall design. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Okay. Thank you. Hearing none, we'll now open the public hearing. And if the applicant, please step forward and present your project.
Good evening. My name is Randall Weaver. I'm owner of the Portola Way property. I'm here with my wife, Bridget. And I want to thank you for your time and consideration on this project. We're definitely in agreement with the staff report to the commission, and we're excited to move to the next step in the project overall. And we're going to be very happy to be able to remain in the neighborhood that we love and the community we really treasure for the next 40 years or so. We have 2 7-year-old twin daughters who really need the extra space in the home.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Thank you very much. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this project? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to Planning Commission discussion.
Through the chair?
Commissioner
Chase.
Chase.
That happens to me all the time. Anyway, I'd like to make a motion that we approve use permit 15-020 based on findings of fact 1 through 6 and subject to conditions of approval 1 through 26.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Carl.
Second the motion.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. There is a 10-day appeal process before any action could take place on this project. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. If someone can notify Perry that he can return. Oh, he's coming, actually. The next item is 6B, 1801 Cedar Wood Drive, It's a request for a use permit to allow the construction of a 510 square foot, which would increase the gross floor area ratio, the gross floor area of the existing home above the maximum permitted floor area ratio for the district and only provide 2 parking spaces where 3 are required. For sections 12-200-030-B2 and 12-200-080-A3 of the San Bruno Municipal Code. Staff report, please.
Michael Smith again, Planning Department staff. The subject property, 1801 Cedarwood Court, is located at the terminus of Cedar Avenue in the Mills Park subdivision. The applicant is proposing to construct a new 1-story addition at the rear of the existing building. The new addition would measure 21 feet in width and approximately 26 feet in depth for a total of 510 square feet and provide a larger family room for the occupants of the building. The addition would have a gabled roof that is clad in terracotta tiles, and it would be finished in stucco and have vinyl windows that match the existing exterior finishes. If approved and constructed, this would remain a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom home with 3,250 square feet of gross floor area. The project requires use permit authorization because it would increase the gross floor area of the existing home above the maximum permitted floor area ratio, 0.519, for the district, and only provide 2 parking spaces where 3 are required. The Architectural Review Committee reviewed this project at their November 12th meeting, and the project was forwarded to the Planning Commission with no additional recommendations. The department mailed hearing notices to neighbors within 300 feet of the subject property, and no comments were received. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve use permit requests based on findings of fact 1 through 6 and subject to conditions of approval 1 through 26. Staff finds that the project, the design of it complies with the residential design guidelines because it would be well integrated with the existing single-family dwelling using materials that match the existing. Furthermore, the addition would not be readily visible from the street. And regarding the parking request, the addition would add common living area to the building and not additional bedrooms or bathrooms. Therefore, staff believes that the addition would not result in additional occupants, which is generally associated with greater parking demand. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions or comments.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Okay, thank you. We'll open the public hearing, and if the applicant can please step forward and present your project.
Hello, my name is David Herzl. I'm here representing I'm the designer. I'm here representing the owner, Jesus Ontiveros. And I'd like to thank Planning Department staff for this very nice, thorough kind of presentation as to what we're doing here. We just basically, the owner, Jesus Ontiveros, has long had in mind he'd like to add a larger family room to the house. The existing family room is actually quite compressed and quite small. And so that is the thrust and the gist of our request here. And it just fits nicely into the already flat backyard of the place. And all details are intended to match so that you really won't be able to tell that it's an addition at all when it's completed.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant?
Through the chair.
Commissioner Peterson?
Conditions 20 and 21 refer to some stormwater pollution prevention plan documents and plans showing how the stormwater would be collected and avoiding erosion. Would you be preparing additional plans for that, or are these plans here expected to cover that as well?
Yeah, that was not addressed or requested of me to account for that. But it's certainly something that is a doable sort of a thing if it was intended, if the Planning Commission were to request that we add a detail for collection of rainwater runoff from the roof, we could certainly do that. Currently there's no change to the existing impervious surface of the property. So we're not adding new impervious surface with the roof.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. We'll open up as public more discussion. There isn't any public here, but officially. We'll close the public hearing as well. Bring it back to Planning Commission discussion.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Chase.
Thank you very much. I will make a motion that we approve use permit 15-021 based on findings of fact 1 through 6 and subject to conditions of approval 1 through 6. However, those 3 conditions that were just previously mentioned by Commissioner Peterson may not apply in this case.
Through the chair, if I could clarify, the conditions that Commissioner Peterson referred to would be conditions that would need to be addressed with the construction documents. So the conditions should apply, should hold, and as the applicant goes forward and prepares construction document detail for the project, they will need to show downspouts, they will need to show how they're collecting their storm drain water. So that information should hold, and we'll pick it up in terms of construction detail.
Let me ask you a question. If there is no additional downspouts that are going to be installed, if there is no other structural additions to make the stormwater collection, be a more of a viable part on this particular use permit, why would you have to have that on the construction documents? I just don't get it.
The project does entail an expansion to the existing dwelling, so there will be additional downspouts, and our senior planner can talk a little bit more about the level of detail in terms of the expansion, the addition. But the idea is that with the addition, as there may be additional downspouts and a need to collect water from those downspouts, that will need to be addressed as part of the construction documents.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Then
You're
I would
welcome.
include in my motion those 3, so
Yes.
just,
Thank you.
approval 1 through 26, as is stated in the report.
I'll second the motion.
Right. All those, excuse me, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. There is a 10-day appeal process before any action can take place on this project. Item 6C is 398 El Camino Real. It's a request for a temporary use permit to allow an off-site construction staging area within a portion of the San Bruno Cable parking lot located on the east side of El Camino Real, just south of Taylor Avenue. That's per sections 1284-030 of the San Bruno Municipal Code. A portion of the San Bruno Cable parking lot will be reserved as a construction staging area for the construction of a mixed-use development located at 406 to 408 San Mateo Avenue. Staff report, please. Well, I want to make one other point. The applicant has withdrawn the temporary use permit, and we will go through the formality. However, our planning director will give us a presentation.
I will. I'll give you just a brief presentation. The applicant, just for background, is researching alternatives for a staging area for the project, the Plaza project. And so it's likely that they'll actually decide on another site for staging as opposed to the one that you've been introduced to. So we've advised them to make a formal request to withdraw the current application, and when they're ready to decide on another site to reapply, which we expect that they'll do, they'll need a staging area. So at this point, we're recommending that you go ahead and accept the withdrawal, and if you could have a motion, a second, and an action on that, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Peterson.
Since this is an item that's listed on the agenda, should the public comment be open and closed?
Yes.
In case
Yes, it
there's
should be.
any?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
So is there any comments or questions for staff? All right, we'll open officially the public hearing. We'll officially close the public hearing and bring it back to commission discussion.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Chase.
I'm a motion-making machine, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a motion that we accept the withdrawal of the temporary use permit 15-008.
Okay.
Second. Oh, sorry. Sorry, through the chair. Second the motion.
Okay, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, and item number 7 is discussion, city staff discussion, and that item was moved from item number 5 to this section under discussion.
So through the chair, I think we'd like to start off with talking about the staff report and the modification to the staff report format. And our senior planner this evening, Michael Smith, has a brief staff report, an overview for you, and we're here to receive any of your comments and direction on reformatting of the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Michael Smith, Planning Department staff. So yes, in October of 2015, the department used a new report format, and I think we might have rolled it out a little too early because we hadn't we had kind of sprung it on you guys. So we pulled that back, and we took a closer look at it, and we met with a subcommittee of the commission to go over what you guys would really like to see in this report. Our goal in reformatting the staff report from the beginning has always been to reduce some of the redundancy and to put as pertinent information for the project on that front page, which is usually customarily done. So when I started to do this, I did some research for other staff reports in nearby communities, and so that helped inform my input into the process. So looking at the staff report in front of you, that is the template of what we're looking to do. And just go over some of the changes on that. On page 1, we've added a lot of information on page 1. So with that first section, you can see that we have the address, the parcel number, the use permit number, the zoning district, the general plan classification, and the planner and the planner's number. We feel that that's very important information to have up front, including the planner's phone number right up there up front, so that if you have any questions, you can either call David or the planner. And then from there, we've added prepared by, so that it's very clear that that is the planner who prepared the staff report before you. And we've added roll call vote also on page 1, so that if a commissioner decides to go along with staff recommendation, they could simply read off the page. And that was also a suggestion that was made as well.
Excuse me, through the chair. I was looking for that particular change in the thing, and I don't, unless I'm totally blind, I'm missing it. Totally blind.
We could bold it if
No, I
that's
got it.
helpful. Okay.
It's not this.
And on page 2,
Through the chair.
Commissioner Peterson.
I know this is going to sound trivial, but on this recommendation, it says roll call vote, but for this kind of use permit, a roll call vote is not required. Isn't that correct?
If I could respond to that through the chair. The intent here, this is a template, and Commissioner Peterson is correct. The intent here is to try to give the chair and commission in this case, some guidance in terms of what the action would be. So based on the type of report, the type of action that would be before you, we would want to make sure that we put down the appropriate action to give you guidance. So as Chair Johnson, and for the commissioners, there would be clarification as to, for that item, what should your action be? That's the intent, correct?
Right, but
So,
in fact, it wouldn't be a roll call vote on a use permit, would there?
Understood.
Oh,
So
so you're just showing that it's a potential option depending on the staff report?
That's correct.
Thank you very much.
Okay, continuing, we've added the reviewing agencies back on page 2. And this was, I thought, was a very good comment. On page 2, we've also added the names of the commissioners who've attended the ARC meeting for the project, if there was an ARC meeting, that is. And then on page 3, we've added some details to the table there to kind of explain some of the numbers and how we arrived at them. So we've added some footnotes beneath that table to kind of show how FAR is calculated. Some additional, for that second table on page 3, we've removed a footnote below that. We didn't think it was all that helpful. And on page 3, the project analysis section has kind of been renamed a little bit to staff's project analysis, just to make that a little bit more clear. And those are pretty much the gist of the changes, but as you'll see on the front page is really where most of the changes to the report reside. And that concludes what I have to say about it, and we'd love to hear your input.
Thank you for that report. Did you comment on the reviewing agencies on that portion? I didn't check it off, so that would be on page 2 at the top.
Yes.
You commented on that already?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because
goodness.
in the October version, it was taken out, and so this one, we brought it back.
All right, thank you.
For the,
Well, they're great changes, good additions. Be happy to have discussion from the commission.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Chase.
They're appropriate, and I'm glad to see there's not a lot of them. And the reason why I say that is because I know the reports I was very comfortable with in the past, and they've gotten better and better and better. So I think with the two commissioners who sat on that committee with you guys, they knew that, and they did a good job of, as well as staff, is dialing it in. So, when you got a pretty good document to begin with, you don't have to make a whole lot of changes. That's kind of my point.
Any other comments?
Through the chair.
Commissioner Peterson?
I'd like to compliment staff on their work. I think they did efficient, accurate, and great job all around. And just to extend it, I thought tonight's reports were excellent.
thank you.
I think the staff's efforts are very, very good in all respects.
Thank you.
And through the chair, just one additional comment. I forgot to mention this. We would like to start using this for the next hearing in January, if this is acceptable.
Is there agreement to that in the commission? Sounds like we have a consensus.
Should I make a motion?
Why not? Let's
No,
do a
it's
motion.
Make it
Really?
official? Okay.
Are you serious? Okay, I'll make a motion. We make this changes and so that they occur in the January report. Is that what you want?
Yes, thank you.
Second.
There you have it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Great.
Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
I also want to acknowledge Commissioner Biasotti and Commissioner Peterson for sitting on that committee, and thank you for your efforts in that. Your
Good
feedback. Any other city staff discussion?
So, as is typical, we're looking for volunteers, as I often say, to, be on our committee, our architecture review committee in January. So 3 volunteers would be much appreciated.
Regretfully, I'm not able to attend.
Well, let's see, Sush and Joe.
I'll,
Oh,
Okay.
there you go. There you
I'll
have
do
3
it,
now.
yeah.
Commissioner
Yeah,
Kayal?
Yes.
Yes, great, thank you.
I'll do it.
Commissioner Biasotti? And one more, please.
I get a trifecta, I guess.
Vice Chair Chase, thank you. Okay, great. I think that's it in terms of staff discussion. We do have a holiday gathering for our planning commissioners and bicycle and pedestrian advisory committee members on Thursday evening at 5:30. And we will have a short presentation that evening and some refreshments, and we look forward to seeing as many of you attend as possible. Thank you.
Any Planning Commission discussion?
Through the chair.
Commissioner Chase.
I know you're not done yet as the chair, but you did a great job this year, so.
Well, thank you.
No problem. Thank
Thank you
you.
for acknowledging that. Thank you.
Through the
It'll be coming up soon.
Through the chair, I'd like to second that. And I'd also like to express sincere holiday wishes to the staff, and thank you for all your efforts this year. It's been very nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good job.
Any other commission discussion? You get-
Here you go.
There isn't a Warriors game going on, Commissioner Chase tonight.
Tell that voice.
I also wish all of you and my colleagues a very happy holiday season and the very best and very healthy new year. So with that in mind, Planning Commission meeting is now over. We adjourn.
All right.